The baby screamed, not the cry of a newborn fighting for air, but a sharp, piercing sound that cut through the storm like a blade. Lightning split the sky above the village, thunder crashing so violently that the mud walls trembled. Inside the small hut, midwives froze. The mother lay drenched in sweat, breathing hard, eyes wide with fear. "Why is he looking at me like that?" one of the women whispered. The child had stopped screaming. He was staring. His eyes were open, wide, reflective, catching the lightning flashes and throwing them back like mirrors in the dark. "Make him cry," the mother pleaded weakly. "Why is he not crying?" The eldest midwife tapped the child's back. Nothing. The baby did not cry again. He only stared toward the door, toward the forest beyond the village. Outside, dogs howled. An old man stood in the rain at the edge of the compound, leaning on his staff. He had heard the scream from his hut. When the door finally opened and the midwife stepped out carrying the wrapped child, the old man did not smile. "He did not cry," she whispered. The old man stepped closer, rain running down his face, and looked into the baby's eyes. The baby blinked once, and in that flash of lightning, his eyes glowed. The old man stepped back slowly. "The forest has answered," he said quietly. By morning, the story had spread through every corner of the village. The child was named Kito, but no one called him that. They called him Bush Baby. At first, it was a joke. He was small for his age. He made strange clicking sounds when he laughed. He slept during the day and stayed awake at night, staring through the open window toward the trees. His mother, Amara, tried to ignore the whispers. "He is just different," she told anyone who would listen. Different does not mean cursed. But things began to change. One night, goats began bleeding wildly. Men rushed out with torches. In the morning, one goat was found dead near the tree line. No tracks, the hunter muttered, kneeling beside the body. No blood trail, nothing. 3 nights later, chickens vanished. Then someone claimed they heard laughter in the trees. High-pitched, quick, almost playful. Children playing tricks, some said. But children do not move between branches without shaking leaves. And children do not leap from tree to tree without falling. One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, Amara found Kito missing from his mat. "Kito!" she shouted, running outside. Villagers gathered. "He was here," she cried. "He was sleeping." They searched with lanterns, calling his name. No answer. Then a young boy pointed upward. There, high above them, perched on a thick branch, Kito sat calmly. His legs dangled. He was not afraid. He was not crying. He was smiling. "How did he get up there?" someone gasped. "That tree has no low branches," the hunter said, his voice tight. "Kito," Amara cried. "Come down." The boy tilted his head, as if confused by her fear. Then, before anyone could react, he moved. He did not climb. He dropped. Gasps erupted. But he landed lightly, like he weighed nothing at all. Silence swallowed the clearing. The old man stepped forward again. "This is not normal." Amara pulled her son behind her. "He is my child, and the forest may think he is hers," the old man replied. Fear began to grow roots. Weeks passed. Crops began to wilt without reason. A child fell sick with a fever that would not break. Women whispered behind closed doors. "He came with the storm. He does not fear the dark. My husband heard something outside our window last night." One afternoon, a group of boys followed Kito secretly as he wandered near the forest. They watched from behind bushes. Kito stepped into the shadows of the trees. A snake slithered across his path. The boys held their breath. The snake lifted its head, then lowered it, and slid away. Kito crouched and touched the ground, as if greeting something unseen. Suddenly, he looked up, directly at where the boys were hiding. They stumbled backward in terror. "He saw us," one whispered. "No one could see through those bushes." That night, a scream tore through the village. A leopard had entered the outskirts. Men grabbed spears. Women pulled children indoors. The leopard moved toward a hut. Before it could pounce, a shrill cry echoed from the darkness. Not human, not animal, something in between. The leopard froze. Its ears flattened. It turned and ran. The villagers stood stunned. "What was that sound?" someone asked. All eyes slowly turned toward Amara's hut. Kito stood outside, breathing calmly. The old man approached him carefully. "Did you make that sound?" Kito did not answer. He only stared at the forest again. That night, the elders gathered. "This child brings strange things," one said. "He saved us from the leopard," another argued. "Or he called it," someone snapped. Amara burst into the meeting. "He is a child," she cried. "You speak of him like he is a spirit." "Maybe he is," the old man said quietly. The air grew heavy. "There's an old story," the old man continued. "When humans forget the forest chooses a messenger." "Mistakes and legends," another elder dismissed. But the fear had already taken hold. Days later, the sick child worsened. "Since he was born, nothing is normal," the mother of the sick boy accused. Murmurs grew louder. Someone shouted, "Send him back." Amara's heart pounded. "You cannot be serious. We cannot risk all our children for one," a man replied coldly. The decision was made before sunrise. They would take Kito into the deep forest and leave him there. When they came for him, Amara stood at the door. "You will not touch him." Two women held her arms. "Please," she begged the old man. "You know he is not evil." The old man's face was heavy with conflict. "Sometimes protection looks like danger," he murmured. "But the village must survive." They carried Kito into the forest. He did not fight. He did not cry. He only looked at his mother. And for the first time since his birth, tears filled his eyes. Amara screamed until her voice broke. They left him beneath the tallest tree, and they walked away. Halfway back to the village, the wind changed. It began as a low hum, then a roar. Trees swayed violently. Thunder cracked so loudly that people fell to their knees. "What have we done?" someone shouted. The sky darkened unnaturally. Back in the village, huts began to collapse under the sudden storm. The sick child's fever spiked. Lightning struck the edge of the farmland, setting fire to dry crops. Amara tore free and ran toward the forest. "Kito!" she screamed into the chaos. Rain lashed her skin. Branches whipped her face. She reached the tall tree and stopped. The storm did not touch that clearing. There was calm. Soft light glowed around the base of the tree. Small nocturnal creatures gathered in a circle, and Kito stood in the center. His eyes glowed softly, not with anger, but with something
My friends,
ancient.
the forest
"Mother,"
is alive with
he said
magic
for the first
today.
time.
Yes, we
Amara
feel it. Come
dropped to
closer.
her knees. "You can speak." He nodded. "They were afraid," he said gently. Behind her, the old man emerged, breathless. He saw the light. He saw the creatures bow their heads. And he understood. "He is not cursed," the old man whispered. "He is chosen." The ground trembled. From the darkness, the same leopard stepped forward. Amara froze, but the leopard lowered its head and lay down at Kito's feet. The old man fell to his knees. "We were wrong." Kito looked at his mother. "I did not come to harm them." "Then why are you here?" she asked, tears streaming down her face. "To listen," he said softly. "The forest is hurting." The storm began to calm. In the distance, villagers watched in awe as the dark clouds slowly parted above the tree. The old man stood and turned back toward the village. "We must bring him home," he declared. When they returned, silence filled the air. Huts were damaged. Faces were pale. Amara walked ahead, holding Kito's hand. The old man raised his voice. "He is not our curse," he said firmly. "He is our protection." Some people wept. Some bowed their heads in shame. The mother of the sick child stepped forward. "Forgive us," she whispered. Kito approached her hut. He placed his small hand on the door. Moments later, the child's fever broke. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. From that day forward, no animal attacked the village. The crops slowly recovered. The air felt lighter. Kito did not become a normal child. He still walked between the trees at night. He still listened to whispers no one else could hear. But now, when villagers saw his glowing eyes in the dark, they did not tremble. They felt safe. Years passed. Kito grew taller, quieter. He spoke little, but whenever danger approached, he knew before anyone else. One evening, he stood at the edge of the forest, watching the sunset. The old man joined him. "You forgave them," the old man said. Kito nodded. "They feared what they did not understand." "And you?" the old man asked. Do you belong to us or to the forest? Kito smiled faintly. I belong where I am needed. The old man exhaled slowly. You will leave one day, won't you? When the forest heals, Kito replied. The wind rustled through the trees like soft applause. And in the quiet that followed, the old man finally felt peace. The story of the bush baby spread beyond the village. Some believed it. Some called it myth. But in that small village, beneath the tallest tree, they knew the truth. Fear had nearly destroyed what was meant to save them. And sometimes, the things that look different carry the greatest light. If this story moved you, if it kept you wondering what would happen next, make sure you like this video so more people could discover stories like this. Comment below, was Kito a spirit, a guardian, or something else entirely? And if you want more powerful stories filled with mystery, emotion, and unforgettable twists, subscribe now so you never miss the next one. Because sometimes the forest is still listening, and sometimes it chooses again.